Yo, what is up everybody, Joe the Great here and welcome back to another Naruto reaction video here today. Now today we have yet another video by the Great 6, and as you can tell by the title, this is Madara versus Ishiki. Now folks, this is an interesting one. So while it is contentious on who is the better villain within the Naruto verse, it is not contentious on who would win in the event that this hypothetical matchup took place. Madara, at his strongest, was when he was Jubidara. Right, he was inferior to base 6 past Naruto and base 6 past Sasuke, arguably. Now, Ishiki Otsutsuki was the epitome of Naruto villains and still is up until this point, current day. Naruto had to become the strongest individual in Naruto history to defeat Ishiki Otsutsuki. Now, that alone should illuminate to you the many, many leagues that Ishiki is above Madara Uchiha. It's not even a competition. Ishiki could end it whenever he wants, however he wants, if he were to ever battle Madara Uchiha. Right? So I'm very intrigued to see what 6 does with this video. I'm assuming he's going to be addressing wacky and essentially shitty power scaling. Maybe he's going to just debunk some horrendous and absurd claims on that people are making on why Madara would beat Ishiki Otsutsuki, which is absurd. That is absurd for people to believe. Right? Now, this goes back to the idea of romanticizing the past. People don't want to forget about the past. They don't want to forget about the era of Naruto Shippuden, the era of Part 1 Naruto. They want to revere these characters forever. But unfortunately, life goes on. We get stronger, better, and more powerful villains. And Ishiki happens to be vastly more powerful than Madara Uchiha. But yeah, I'm very intrigued to see what 6 has to say today. But before we begin, any loves greatly appreciated. Hit that like button. Turn on bell notifications to stay updated with yours truly. And if you're new and you enjoy, man, you messed with the kid, make sure to hit that sub button, because once you do, you become part of the family forever. But let's not waste any more time, screen. Let's see what 6 says today.
Hello everyone.
What up?
So today I have my son, seed, spawn, flesh and blood, Troy with me. And
shout out to Troy. Shout out to Troy too.
Over Ishiki. Well, hold on. Actually, let me not be rude. You want to introduce yourself?
Yes. I'm his father. Blood, everything.
Anyway, we're going to be going over Madara versus Ishiki. Now, this video is not planned in any type of way, or I didn't plan to make it ever. As a matter of fact, this video was supposed to be me talking about how strong I think pain is, like I promised a long time ago, that I haven't really gotten out. But there's some editor issues, so I thought I would edit this one myself, get it out a bit quicker. And it's a topic that I think can be a lot more interesting than a lot of people let on, right?
Really?
So, the initial reaction, especially when you get to like boruto scaling, is the new villains of boruto would just destroy all the old villains of Shippuden, right?
Correct.
Like, you would agree, like that's how people generally look at it.
That seems to be the general consensus with everyone.
Yeah, so when we get into Madara, or even someone like Kaguya, then we get to people who could maybe put up a fight against these new era Boruto people. In fact, there's a few Boruto characters or Boruto villains that I think Madara would outright beat. But here we're talking about literally the strongest one. Like Ishiki,
the strongest.
I believe this is from an anime guide. Ishiki is just blatantly stated to be the strongest enemy ever. So it's not really a question as to who's stronger between Madara and Ishiki. It's more like, could Madara pull off a dub knowing everything Madara possesses? Do you want to get into Limbo first, or is there something else you want to talk about?
Yeah, we can start with Limbo, yeah. So
you can go.
So personally, I think Limbo is his biggest thing, because it's kind of debatable whether or not. Well, no, it's not really debatable. Ishiki probably can't see Limbo because Sasuke needed like an advanced Rinnegan, and all Ishiki has is like a Byakugan in his weird 8-wheel eye or some shit.
Yeah.
Maybe he can sense it with like some 6-pass Senjutsu he gets from like 10 tails of chakra fruit that he eats. But even that's debatable too.
Yeah, so when we were looking through like some of the little articles about, not articles, the forums about this before recording, because obviously we did pregame a little bit, right? We're not going to go into this completely blind.
Right.
The main argument we saw people using was that it's like Limbo GG, Infinite Tsukiyomi GG, blah, 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 blah. Right? So we thought it like, okay, Ishiki's an Otsutsuki, right? It's reasonable to say that Ishiki's eaten at least one chakra fruit. Like it's literally the Otsutsuki's job to eat chakra fruits, evolve, blah, blah, blah. It's literally what they want to do. So if Ishiki's eaten one chakra fruit before, he should have, and he does have access to a Jubi. We've seen him absorb Jubi chakra before. So
he has one of that weird dimension.
Yeah. So Ishiki should have 6-pass Senjutsu or 6-pass Sage mode. Which one is kind of weird. I don't really want to say he has 6-pass Sage mode because, I mean, I like my headcanon, but that's just like a little bit too far into it. 6-pass Sage mode is like a special use of 6-pass Senjutsu. At least that's my understanding.
It'd be harder to argue for that since it's
I always thought it was like pretty Naruto exclusive with that specific one.
It's fair.
So Ishiki should be able to at least interact with the Limbo, right? So if he can interact with the Limbo, there's a couple ways we could see him going about like beating them. The first way would be absorption. So do you know about the like implications?
Yeah, it's fair to deduce that the strongest villain in Naruto history can interact with Limbo.
Yeah,
that's
so
fair.
That's why Naruto doesn't really resort to those tactics when facing people like Momo and Delta, who rely heavily on absorption.
Yeah, so when Naruto's rushing to fight Momo, he begins to weave the sign for shadow clones. It's literally the only sign. It's the only jutsu that has like a sign exclusive to it. He starts weaving the sign for a shadow clone, and Boruto's like, "Dad, don't do that. He can absorb ninjutsu." And then against Delta, someone else we know who can absorb ninjutsu, he also doesn't use clones. So yeah, like that would be the implication as to what would lead you to the conclusion that someone can absorb a shadow clone. And if Limbo clones are just another ninjutsu, senjutsu type thing, Ishiki, who's an Otsutsuki and can absorb chakra and jutsu, things like that, he should be able to absorb the Limbo. What were you gonna say?
I know people are gonna try to go against this by saying he used him versus Jigen, but we can versus Jigen. It was pretty obvious that they were just hopeless against the guy. So
yeah,
Naruto
they're
was
out
just
of their
using
league
anything
right
he could.
Way out of the league.
Like, it was just like he had to.
He was also doing it. You might agree with this. I don't know. I think Naruto was only doing that to see what Jigen was doing with the rods, because they were sort of like stumped. So he sent in clones after Jigen, knowing full well that Naruto himself can't beat him, just to see what Jigen's actually getting done.
Yeah, he was gauging his power. He was testing
that he's
what he
using,
would do.
like, microscopic,
and there was a sense of urgency, right? Naruto and Sasuke together.
Yeah, I actually probably would agree with that.
He had to go all
like
out.
a way of explaining it.
So I guess the next thing we could get into would be Infinite Tsukiyomi, which we're not really sure. I'll let you lead with this one. Go ahead.
Yeah, this one I'm like almost positive would not work on Ishiki, because Six has his own reasons, but my biggest reason is how she built the army for Momo and Kinshiki when she can still activate the Infinite Tsukiyomi, and she wouldn't have to waste her time doing all this, even going as far as to kill her offspring, her two sons, if they would just get trapped under a genjutsu as soon as they came.
Good point.
She wouldn't have to kill her sons. She didn't want to, but she was so
it would be
scared
pointless
that
to do all that if they could be caught in the genjutsu, right? Yeah,
it would be kind of weird
sense.
if it affected them and she still did this.
So I guess to back that up a little bit, I'd say that, I could see a counter to that being like, oh, Kaguya is evil, Kaguya doesn't care. Kaguya very clearly cares about her children. Like, you remember when she's holding Naruto and Sasuke and she literally starts like fucking crying?
Starts crying, yeah.
She's literally crying because she sees Hagoromo and Hammer in them, even though they're like failures as kids. But moving on. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. The Hagoromo hate just comes out of me. But moving on, like, so now there's like a few things going for Madara, or at least like something going in Madara's favor, right? Ishiki is generally like a extremely non-confrontational person, right? Like we see this when he arrives in the Leaf Village, at least in the manga anyway. He's like politely talking to the villagers. Even when he's like talking to Delta, he's kind of polite. I'm not gonna say he's nice, he's just not extremely violent. Like he just doesn't seem to be that type of guy.
He's cordial.
Even when he like
in a way, kind
runs into Naruto's house when he's trying to get Kawaki, all he does, he enters the house. He's like, Naruto, my bad for not taking off my shoes. Then when Naruto attacks him, he like dismisses him with one attack. Then when Naruto attacks him again, he tries to take him to another dimension and just leave him there, right? So we have these like implications that Jigen or Ishiki is just this sort of like non-confrontational guy, which
he even doesn't destroy the village and decides to go the route of keeping Naruto in that dimension. Even later on, saying he knew Sasuke would just come and probably take him back. He didn't even want to fight at all, even after Naruto like charged up and tried to hit him and everything. He still did not want to fight.
Yeah, like that's not to say Ishiki's a nice guy, right? Like obviously he wants to kill everyone on Earth because he wants the chakra fruit.
Yeah.
It's just to say like he's not generally looking for a fight. Like even when he gets Naruto pinned under the cubes, right? He thinks Naruto's done. He doesn't like try to rip his head off or something. Or even when he leaves Naruto sealed in the pot, he's just trying to live, really. He's literally like a guy just fighting for survival, which I guess you could say maybe that's a reason why he's not super confrontational, because when he uses all that power, obviously it affects his Jigen vessel, which
starts to break down, get cracks.
Yeah, which he needs at this point anyway. At this point he needs it because Kawaki's the only one and Kawaki's not ready yet. And then when he's against Naruto and Sasuke later, when he's actually Ishiki, he's got a limited time left to live, so obviously he wouldn't want to output all that power. In fact, he even implies he's holding back on Naruto and Sasuke when he says that even if he was fighting conservatively against Baryon Naruto, he should have at least 20 hours of life left, something around that area. But dwelled on that long enough. I'm pretty sure everyone got the point. Ishiki's not super confrontational. The reason this may work in Madara's favor, right, is if Madara can get like knocked out or something like that, or not knocked out but knocked down, because we do know Madara is like somewhat immortal, right? He has like some pseudo type of immortality, right, through either regeneration or just eternal life. We don't really know, but we do know he can regenerate from things that should be extremely fatal. You want to get into that?
Yeah. First, there's the instance with the guy. When Guy like blows up half his body, he's like, "Oh, that could have killed me." And when he gets what is it, the second? No, not the second one. It's the Guy tree.
Yeah.
He goes like he's fully immortal now, and he can survive getting chopped in half, regenerate that portion, and nothing really seems to be able to take Madara down at this point.
Yeah, and then that's sort of like it sort of like goes on with Kaguya as well. Kaguya also says she's immortal. I mean, it's just implied at that point that like straight hands isn't really getting the job done, right? Like you need something a little bit extra.
You need something higher.
So
that's why they have to steal Kaguya, because they literally can't do anything else. She's like completely immortal. They can't kill her. They can't like destroy her body completely. They have to steal her. That's the only option.
So now, do you think Ishiki, based on seeing Madara and being able to sense like his Jubi chakra or whatever, would know that Madara has this pseudo level of immortality or not? Because we know Ishiki's not stupid.
Yeah, I the only reason I think he wouldn't know is because people like Momoshiki and Kenshiki, even though they've eaten like countless chakra fruits, they have Jubis and all that shit, or like have planted the seedlings that have this type of chakra that Madara has. They don't seem to have regeneration. Like Kenshiki can't even regenerate a horn, where Madara can regenerate the whole lower half of his body.
Good point.
So it doesn't seem to be something that just comes with this chakra. It's some Kaguya and Madara stuff alone.
Which then could lead into like is possibly due to that specific Jubi that like gives them that little, I guess, genetic update, right? Like Kaguya and Madara, for those who don't know, they've eaten, or Madara didn't actually eat a chakra fruit, I'm stupid, but Madara absorbed the same Jubi.
Yeah.
You know, and the
It
Jubis
still
are
would
different.
result in him getting the chakra.
Yeah, the Jubies are different, so maybe they don't offer the same type of genetic updates.
Yeah, we know Earth has like special chakra and a very good jubies and fruits and stuff.
Yeah. We also get this code statement, right? And this is extremely recent. This is literally like last chapter. What was the last chapter? 64, 63? It's 63.
I think it was 63, yeah.
Where code says like when you use karma, you get all the battle experience of this Otsutsuki. So instantly you become like a seasoned warrior, and it's what leads to what is such a big power up. If that's the case, Ishiki, who's literally like the top of the Otsutsuki, top dog, should be the most seasoned warrior, and he's also lived the longest, right? Like Momo's dead now. Maybe you could say Kinshiki's older because Kinshiki's like Momo's father or grandpa or something like that, like
Right. Some weird thing like that.
So yeah, Ishiki should be the most seasoned warrior. So, you know, he shouldn't be no dummy when he's fighting against Madara. But Madara is also not stupid.
Kaguya, like going into how old Ishiki should be, Kaguya is like, based on her actions, I would think she's young because how she defects from the clan, she gets scared. Whereas Momo and
she's rebellious.
Ishiki,
Right?
they know they're gonna like evolve, and they know that the data's gonna be stored and stuff, even if they have to get eaten, and they still go through this. Seems as they're more mature than
Yeah. So
these hundreds of times.
if Ishiki like beats Madara down, right? Him being non-confrontational, doesn't actually like rip his head off or something like that. While he's like unknowing that this Madara is like almost completely immortal, Madara might be able to get a limbo clone off and off guard Ishiki and actually do like a serious amount of damage. So we see this in the manga anyway. This is cut from the anime because of how Baryon mode is introduced. But Ishiki's standing over Boruto, off guard. Base Naruto comes in, kicks him, and he knocks off his little chin guard. He literally, like, the chin guard literally crumbles off of his face. It's kind of funny, not gonna lie. But then earlier, we see Ishiki's like blocking attacks from KCM2 Naruto's chakra arms,
Right.
things like that.
You can even take hits from Baryon mode Naruto. Like, of course, I'm not implying he's relative or comparable, but he doesn't get like one shot by Baryon mode Naruto. He's still like sticking in there, even though he's getting beat up. But if base Naruto can kick off his like chin guard, but Baryon mode Naruto can't do enough damage to kill him, it's like that should go to show how much off guard lowers his durability.
Ishiki can also absorb chakra, like ninjutsu, things like that. Madara, to our knowledge, does not have this ability. Oh no, yes he does. Yes he does. He's got the Rinnegan.
Yeah, he does.
He's got the Rinnegan. I'm stupid. So they can both absorb chakra and jutsu. So this is gonna be like straight hands. This is gonna be straight hands essentially, which doesn't really work on either of them. So it's gonna be like, okay, can Madara do some weird like limbo clone sneaky tactics and get the upper hand on Ishiki? Or can Ishiki like pin down Madara with chakra rods and seal him away?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Or just like absorb him until he doesn't have enough chakra to like regenerate or anything.
Yeah. So, I mean, we really can't tell you. Like probably the best interpretation is Ishiki would win, right? Like he's the
Correct.
later threat, the greater threat. I mean, it just seems to be implied Ishiki's much stronger. Like maybe, you know, Madara shouldn't be at this tier quite yet. Like Ishiki is just levels above Madara. So
Several. Yeah.
Madara also doesn't have like teleportation jutsu. We know Ishiki BFRs people. Just like he did Naruto. He might just push Madara in a portal.
Yeah, and then
If he gets
with
bored, he
him being
might
a
do that, yeah.
confrontational person and whatnot, that may be something completely in character for him. But I'll leave it up to you if you think Madara could do like a limbo clone sneaky GG on Ishiki or not. Check out Troy's channel. It's not good. but check it out anyway. We're gonna do a video on his channel because some people, like majority of people actually, I guess on Instagram, think the Akatsuki can beat Kara.
For whatever reason.
For whatever reason, we have no idea. But I mean, that is
again romanticizing the past.
This,
that is
this
absurd.
one Instagram post. But yeah, we're gonna get out of here. Like and subscribe if you fucking like the video. If you didn't, I'm sorry. We tried our best.
The good video as always, guys. Well done.
We're good to go. Goodbye. Have a nice day.
Peace out. All right, that's the end of the video. I definitely get my thoughts on this. Now, this is my thoughts. It is highly, highly likely that Ishiki deals with Madara with relative ease, right? Just think how easy he dealt with Naruto and Sasuke. Full power. And that was him in his vessel, a weak, non-optimal vessel, which he implied himself, right? Which was illuminated when he had a crack on his chest or something after fighting Naruto and Sasuke. Madara is leagues below those two. Jubidar is leagues below those two. He would get dealt with. I also think Ishiki would look at Jubidara specifically as fuel. He would sense, oh, this guy has 10 tails chakra in him. This looks like a tasty treat. And he might use the rods, and I think the rods would keep Madara down. Similar to the 10 tails itself. Right? And will probably just absorb Madara. Honestly, I think Madara isn't he just 10 tails chakra? Basically, that's what he is. He's a 10 tails Jinchuriki, right? He absorbs the God tree. That's all he really is, from my observation. The Limbo clones, I tend to believe that it is highly likely that Ishiki could probably at least sense the Limbo clones. It's highly likely. Being leagues above somebody, that should be easy to conclude or to deduce, right? Again, it's unknown. There is no way to 100% confirm nor deny that, but considering he is the strongest villain ever up to date in Naruto history, I don't have a tough time coming to that conclusion, right? That he could sense them. So I would assume he could sense them, and I just think he's vastly superior. It's highly unlikely that Madara takes Ishiki out, even with Ishiki being non-confrontational. If anything, he would just look at Madara, again, as a meal. He would say, oh, this guy has some 10 tails chakra. Why not get some more power, right? Simply, he would just eat him, especially since he absorbed the God tree, right? He's just 10 tails chakra. Now, correct me if I'm mistaken, right? But this is just off the top of my head. He's stronger, he's faster, he's superior. He's leagues above people who are leagues above Madara. Kaguya was leagues above Jubidar. Ishiki's leagues above her. And Naruto and Sasuke as adults full power until Naruto goes into Baryon mode. He's just vastly superior. You know what I think would happen? If you remember when Boruto first met Sasuke, when Sasuke knocked on Naruto's door and he tried to punch Sasuke and Sasuke caught it like nothing. That's how it would be with Madara and Ishiki. It'd be a child trying to mess with a god. That's what it would be, essentially. So it's really that simple, and I think it's easy to come to terms with that, especially if you're an objective power scaler. Now, if you're someone who romanticizes the past and wants to revere the Akatsuki and Madara and say that the Akatsuki beat Kara, which is absurd, by the way. The Akatsuki would no chance in hell stand a chance against the Kara. There's no way in hell they'd stand a chance. They'd get obliterated. Probably Code himself would obliterate him. Or Delta herself. It would not be a competition. There is no competition. Now, I know it's instinctual for us OG fans to compare. You can compare them in terms of narrative impact. We could always do that. But in terms of power, there is no competition. It's not even close. The Akatsuki are far inferior to anyone in the Kara. At least the inners. Right? Far inferior. Everyone's far inferior to Ishiki unless you're Baryon mode Naruto or possibly Code now with his limiters removed, which we will see in the next coming chapters of Boruto. So, this was an interesting discussion, though. I liked hearing Six and Troy's takes on it. I think they had great takes, actually. Great takes. They took into consideration important factors such as limbo clones, which is contentious if you're being objective, right? I think Ishiki could probably sense them. They do as well, and I'm sure most people probably do. But again, it is contentious. So there's that. And the fact that Ishiki's non-confrontational, that is correct. But again, I would argue and counter Six's claim by saying, well, Madara is essentially Ten-Tails chakra. And Atsuki's gravitate towards that. They want to eat chakra. They want to evolve. So if anything, he would just be a meal to Ishiki. That's what my take would be on that. But yeah, this was an interesting video. Let me know your guys' takes on it. I'm always interested to hear your guys' thoughts as well. So let me know your takes in the comments. If you have any other recommendations, also let me know in the comments. It's going to wrap it up, folks. I'll catch you in the next video. This is Jelly Ray signing out. Peace.